Charge. So bodies start to fall, but it's kids, gang members, and all.
Thank you guys out there for tuning in, man. You are watching JFK's Way, and of course I'm him. I'm that guy, world. I am JFK. So if you're not familiar with me, it's fine. If you don't know, you can see behind me what we're doing today. I am a collector, and recently they just dropped a new trailer for Venom 2, which of course has none other than the man Carnage, who you see here on my shirt, who you see on the posters. But if you guys don't know what I'm into, man, you guys can check me out. Follow me on Instagram on the JFK_the-great. You can check me out there, man. Again, if you don't follow me, man, hit subscribe. It's free, man. It don't cost you nothing. I've been saying that lately. It's free. You know, it's free love, man. And we don't still ain't enough out here. But anyway, man, as you guys see, like I said, we are presenting to you guys something today. Some Carnage stuff, man. You know, I'm a collector, man. So first and foremost, I'm gonna set it off, and I'm gonna show you guys one of the very first covers ever done for this character. Now, this book right here, believe it or not, actually came out in 1992. This right here is a graded copy, one of the highest grades you guys can receive. You see it up here, a 9.8, signed by the artist and creator, or should I say co-creator of the character, Mark Bagley, one of the kings of this comic book thing, man. Some of his work is just iconic. And actually, as you guys can see right here, I actually had this signed 5 years ago this month, literally 5 years ago. This is my book. I didn't buy this off of somebody. I've had this for going on half a decade right now, man. So of course I was ahead of this shit before it took off, but this book is risen lately, and of course I see nothing but more high rises of this price tag of this book as the film approaches the day that it comes out. Now, for some of you guys, again, if you're not a fan or you are fans of comic books, great. I love artwork. Again, I've been into this since I was in elementary, middle school. I've been collecting on and off, of course, periods of my life, but consistently for a little over 10 years right now, which I am honored and proud to say. I'm also in the caps. I'm also in the sneakers as well. So today, like I said, I want to get into some of my favorite and some of the most iconic Carnage covers that's in my collection, should I say. Now, this next book right here, I'm actually going to show you guys. This is the second print. Hopefully you guys can see that right there, which is actually silver in the background. I do not know what the price tag on these are. I feel like it was a lot more of these printed than the original one. Might be a lot less, because again, this is from the 90s, man. Second prints weren't too much of a big thing back in the 90s. This one I paid $30 for a few years back. But yeah, as you guys can see, man, again, I'm a collector, like I said. So, and I have 2 more copies, actually, of the original cover. Now, both of these are actually newsstands. If you guys don't know what newsstands are, you see there's a barcode down here. The barcode means that it was a newsstand edition. They would print this, and then they would print this right here, which shows that it's a direct edition. Which you guys can see down here, there is no barcode here. So these right here went to comic book stores. The barcode ones actually used to go to newsstands and to places like Rite Aid, because Rite Aid used to sell books, you know, stuff like that. Again, that was a totally different time frame in collecting, man. Now, for whatever reason, I chose to get the direct edition of this one time as well, but hopefully my other 2 newsstand editions are just as high in grade. But yes, man, so there's actually some controversy behind this cover, believe it or not. Now, that is the first appearance of Carnage, but it was not the first time that Mark Bagley actually drew the character. Long story short, I'm going to give you guys a little game before I get into this box right here, as you guys can see, which is about 75 to 80% full. There's nothing but Carnage stuff in here. So this cover right here is actually a controversial cover. Now, this was actually the first cover that Mark Bagley initially did for the character, but he didn't like the position, he didn't like the pose of Spider-Man, so he actually changed it. So I do know that because I heard it from the man himself. Again, meeting Mark Bagley, I've met him 3 times collectively in my lifetime, and the 3rd time it was a lot of people there, and some people were actually getting this book right here signed. I see a lot of blues and shades like that in the book, so I felt like this would not look good to me, again, just to me, in a yellow casing. This right here, yellow, signifies that it is from the CGC, which is the comic grading company, the signature series. So once you get a book signed and graded, you want it to come back a 9.8. But again, some books are damaged. They don't always come back this high. This is near mint, which is almost mint. 10 is mint, but you hardly ever see those in existence. And yellow, like I said, is for signature series. So this right here, it's encapsulated. So you guys can hear that. It's almost like glass. It's a real thick casing that they encapsulate the books in. So this cover, like I said, this cover was the cover that released. This was the very first appearance. But back then, this was the actual very first artwork that Mark Bagley did, and a lot of people don't know that. Believe it or not, again, I've been in comics majority of my life, and I didn't know that. I grew up off of Mark Bagley's work. I loved him. He's one of my favorite artists of all time. But it's a business. There's a lot of things ins and outs of the business. So let's get to another cover here, right here. This right here was a book that actually released within the last year or two. There was a lot of hysteria behind it because if you actually look, there's a Carnage action figure. This right here is actually on the side box of the action figure. Now, I do not collect toys, but this cover right here is a virgin cover. As you see, there's no title. There's no trade dress is what they call it. There's nothing on this at all, just the appreciation of the artwork. So believe it or not, it's old artwork that they used, they recycled and put on a cover. But again, I like it. Again, I'm a collector, so I kind of had to have it. I'm not 100% sure how these price tags are. Again, I'm not a reseller, man. I'm a collector. But certain stuff you see through Instagram, through other social medias, a lot of guys are trying to get crazy price tags for stuff pertaining to this character now. Of course, because we got that crazy trailer. So I did not like the original Venom movie. Believe it or not, I felt like it was super, super bad to me. Number-wise, I guess it did what it was supposed to do in the box office. It did good, but the voicing was bad. The story, of course, is not canon. That's not the story at all of Venom. That whole story was just created just for the film. So again, I'm a member of the Symbiote Elites, man. So shouts out to my guys, to my fellow members of the Symbiote Elites. I know some people thought I would get up here and I would give this whole thing about the trailer. Nah, because I think one of my fellow Elites is already doing that. So shouts out to him, man. I just wanted to show you guys some books, some covers on the character. So let's get to it. Let's get through this box. Show you guys some of my favorite covers of all time from Carnage. Now, I did not plan this out. I did not set a lot of books aside of what I would do. I was like, I'm just going to go through the box and show people some of my favorites. So I'm going to skim through this right here. This right here, I believe, which is the first appearance of Shriek. This right here is a book that will probably end up going up and up and up because she has been shown in the trailer as well. So again, just one of my favorite covers, and this actually was done by Ron Lim. So this is an old book, man. This cover came out also in 1992. This is when the artwork was done. The book was printed in 1993, which shows the Marvel Comic Group's copyright on the top left-hand side. This was also a fun one too, man. You see J. Jonah Jameson, which is the guy that works at the Daily Bugle, and Spider-Man pretty much wrapped up in Carnage right now. Now, with Spider-Man not being in this film, and he wasn't in the original Venom film, I'm wondering how they're going to do this. But so far, I can't complain too much. Like I said, I actually like the look of Carnage. I do not like that he has this huge, amazingly long tongue, as you guys can see here. And in each cover I showed you so far, he wasn't initially drawn and depicted with a tongue. Everybody knows that's a Venom trait. That's a Venom highlight whenever you see the tongue. So let's get through some of these. These are some of the books from Maximum Carnage. I actually have 3 sets of that entire series. Maximum Carnage was the first series that was with Carnage all throughout it. So it was a 14-part miniseries, which I can't really say miniseries because 14 issues of a book is like, damn. So this right here is a book that's definitely touched and went all throughout the price tag. This was $1 book, a $3.99 book, a $100 book. If you guys can see, Carnage is kind of like a foil right here. This is Carnage Mind Bomb. Now, this is the first solo Carnage series ever actually printed. So this right here, I have a few of these. Just one of my favorites though. So, actually, here's another one. This is Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life. This one came out 3 years after his debut. This is from 1996. So if you guys can see, this is Carnage Mind Bomb. I paid $1.99 for this one. Excuse me, $9.99 for this one, and 99 cents for my other copies that I have. So, like I said, we're going to burn through them. Now, this is going to be the battle that everybody sees. This is amazing art. Crazy good. This is from definitely over half a decade ago. This is the Venom versus Carnage series. The cover is done by Clayton Crane, which ironically enough is also the artist behind both posters that you see behind me. Clayton Crane did this, and Clayton Crane also did this. You can see when Crane cared, man. I say when Crane cared because his work is he's done all types of different characters since then. But his claim to fame was definitely around this time frame when he was doing that, when he was doing this series. This series also has a first appearance in it as well. So I got a few of these. As you guys can see, I bought multiple copies of covers that I just absolutely love. I have 5 copies of this. And then this right here, this is another crazy book that's definitely skyrocketed. A friend of mine who goes by the name, he runs a company called Broke Ass Comics. Shouts out to him. But my man Gary, one of his favorite symbiotes is Toxin. This is actually the first appearance of Toxin in this book. And same with me. He's one of my favorite symbiotes as well. But this right here is crazy, crazy detail. You really got to get one of these books in hand to see how much is going on here. But it's a great cover. Let's see, some more Clayton Crane. And this right here is actually the book that this picture right here comes from. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'll zoom in right here. But this is the poster that you guys see behind me. Again, Clayton Crane, man, an amazing artist who does crazy. It's just the artwork that you see, the detail, the style. And I remember before I was seeing something, I was like, oh, this is acrylic painting. But he's a painter. He is a painter, believe it or not. So some of this stuff, of course, is digi work, which is digital artwork. But some of this stuff is just, man, you sit down and watch the man go to work himself. It's just amazing, man. Now this right here is just, I can't even give you guys the words in detail of how great this artwork is. But again, the stuff that I'm showing you, this is from Carnage, a series that happened in the early 2000s. This is also Clayton Crane, who did the covers and the interior artwork for this book right here. So after Carnage, there was, of course, Carnage USA, which we're going to get to right now as well. I have, I believe, 3 sets of that one. So, and some of these covers, again, they're iconic, man, for Carnage, for the character itself. So again, a lot of people, to the masses, to the world, a lot of people are just now getting this. But some of us, we've been around for a while, man. Another one of my favorites. It's like Carnage is almost in baby mode, curled up in a capsule. Crazy, crazy good artwork. Again, just amazing. And again, I have a few of those. Again, that was absolutely one of my favorite Carnage covers of all time. This right here is a second print of Carnage issue 3. Again, Clayton Crane, man, he was all over this series. He did the second print of this. He did, of course, the first print of this. All the interior artwork for it. So this man was actually working extremely hard. So where he's at now, he does a lot of covers. You know, he doesn't do as much interior work, but still, just to see where he's at and how he's established himself. Look at that, man. Just, oh my goodness. He did this entire series. You know, and also the entire Carnage USA series as well. Now this cover right here has been used and replicated multiple times. He did a Wolverine, he did a Venom. There is a Spider-Man one for a company that I will not mention because I do not associate myself with that company anymore. But yeah, it's just so many covers that have been produced after this one right here. Now this was the very first one he did, as you guys can see, with the American flag, Carnage USA. Like, this is Carnage's land, man. This is, you know, it's Carnage all over the place. So it's great. I have a few of those. Now this right here is a second print, which I actually have 4 of these. This one actually is signed. So ironically enough, I got this, I don't even know what year it was. My son is 6 years old now. So it's probably going on 8 or 9 years ago I got this cover. And but yeah, I have a few of these. And I actually have one graded somewhere through here. We're going to get through these too, man. We're going to get through these too. Actually, I can jump straight to these actually while I'm thinking about it. This one right here, this is a 9.6 though. The wrong grader got this one. That's all that's about. The wrong grader got this one. This is possibly a 9.8. I wouldn't have submitted if I didn't think that it was. But at the time when I did this, there was only 6 of these on, like, ever graded in the census. 6 of them, right? And there was only 22 collectively. So this copy right here was actually graded on my birthday in 2018. So, like, whenever you look at the notes, if you remember, they send you, you know, tell you when it was graded, etc., etc. My birthday is June 26th. So this was actually graded on June 26th, and it became the 6th 9.6 on census, which is crazy. It was like it was meant to happen. So, again, one of my favorite covers, man. Again, astonishing artwork from Clayton Crane. This right here is a symbiote. Looks very similar to Carnage. He's actually down here on my shirt. This is actually Toxin. I just gave you guys a first. This right here is from who I call the Noel of the Symbiote Elite Group. His name is Joseph Reed. Shouts out to my guy, Old Man Venom. If you do not know who he is, you can check him out on Instagram. He is one of the most, if not the most productive and most posting dude and informative dude on Instagram that you're probably going to catch about Venom and symbiotic stuff just in general. I call him the Noel of it because he was the first one and the guy to create the Symbiote Elite Group. And me just being the first of the Symbiote Elites, this right here was the first book that he did that actually was graded. And this one actually came back in 9.8. I was extremely happy about this. I gave him an idea, a pitch, and man, he killed this idea. This right here is his depiction from a Tradd Moore cover actually for Venom. He did Toxin instead. Man, he hit a home run. So shouts out to Old Man Venom. Joe, thank you so much, man. And actually, my man Joe has recently gone to just create some covers, actual published covers for some books. So shouts out to him, man. He is an official licensed and official artist now. So from this to actual publication, man, salutes to you, man. Big salutes to Arnold, Mr. Joseph Reed. This right here was actually another cover. This is a symbiote I hope that we do see one day, but possibly not. This is actually the inverted version of Venom. This is anti-Venom. If you guys can see, he is white and black as opposed to black and white. So this right here, this came back in 9/8, and as you see, it had Toxin done on the back. And actually, ironically enough, Eddie Brock, who is Venom, he actually has time at being both of these individuals right here. So this right here was a artwork, a sketch done by my man Robert. Shouts out to him. And my man Eric Lovato, who they both worked on this cover right here, man. So this was Eric did the back right here, the Toxin. As you guys can see, just crazy artwork, man. And this took a long time, believe it or not, because it went from one artist, then it had to, once he was done, he took his time, then it went to the next artist, and then once he was done and he took his time, then it went to the grading company, and they took their time. So this book is probably one of the longest waited books I've ever waited on. I think I waited, if not a year, just around a little close to a year, like 11 months, I believe it was, for this book. But it came back in 9/8. The artwork from both artists is astounding. So I was happy with it all around, man. The colors actually ended up matching somewhat, because if you look, he did this side, right? Eric did this side. Rob did this side. It was just crazy, man. These guys did the damn thing. And when I say they did the damn thing, they made me very proud. And I was happy to know both of these guys, and glad I could get this done. So this is one of one. This is a book that you will never ever see again, because again, it was two totally different artists. Same with the last one I just showed you. That's the very first one. Joseph Reed, Old Man Venom on Instagram. It's the very first one he ever did. There won't be another one. Might be something similar. Somebody might see this, might kind of swagger jack my idea. But the original, the one, the only, that's it, man. So like I said, I'm proud to own stuff like this. And again, this is just me showing you guys some of my collection, some of the stuff I love, bro. So Carnage being thrown into a movie, y'all know I had to do this. Y'all know I had to speak about Carnage. So this right here, Carnage USA, again, something else you do not see every day. This is a second print variant done by none other than the main man, Clayton Crane himself. Signed by the man, Clayton Crane himself. As you guys see that yellow label, which shows that it was signed, right? So just like the sketches, of course, they did their artwork, and they of course signed it for me. That's why they're yellow labels. You see this? And he also did his original signature, which was just a digital C. It was just a C with a circle around it. So I also was like, yo, can you give me, your original, like your what you had, how you used to have it? He was like, what, you want the C too? I was like, yeah, put the C in the circle. So he did that for me, actually down here at the bottom, right under his signature. So it looks crazy, man. It looks crazy official. Super happy to get it again. The wrong graders got this, man. It should have been a 9/8. The wrong graders got this, but it's cool. A 9/6 nonetheless. Still a super high graded book. And again, book you do not see every day. So we're gonna keep this train rolling. Let's get to some of the later stuff. Let's see, this right here I also have graded. This is from Mark Bagley, who again is the original artist, the first artist and co-creator of the character Carnage. This right here is actually Agent Venom, which is Flash Thompson down here, if you guys can see that, and Ben Reilly, which is Spider-Man's clone, Scarlet Spider, right here. Actually, excuse me, this is Kane. But he is a clone of Peter Parker as well, and they're going against Carnage. You see, he got both of them wrapped up. My man Carnage don't play no games at all. This is a 1/25 variant. So I actually got this copy particularly from my man Always Collecting. So shouts out to my man Always Collecting on Instagram. He's a crazy big collector, man. He be into all types of things. He be into sneakers. He's similar to me. He be into sneakers. He be into comics. He starts joining into the little figure things and stuff. He's all over the place. And this is my second copy. My third one is actually graded. I don't know why I don't have it out here, but I do have a third copy of that. So this right here is the second print of Minimum Carnage Alpha, which is literally a little miniature, super small ass Carnage right here, saying, "I'm back, baby." Yeah, that's how he is, man. He's one of those kind of guys, man. He's crazy as hell. So if you guys do not know, he is a serial killer by nature, which means without the suit, he was a serial killer. Now he has the suit, so he's all red. So he's even more crazy, man. He's ballistic. Hence why his name is Carnage. So let's see, Minimum Carnage Alpha, Minimum Carnage Omega. This is a cover done by Ron Lim. I got this actually on release day, whatever year that was, for $7.99. As you guys see the cover price right there. I hardly touch a lot of these books, man. A lot of these books, again, I hardly even pull out. Another Clayton Crane variant. Now there's a Dracula homage I actually have a copy of, and it's actually in my needs to go to CGC pal because I did not have it in here. But just again, Carnage has been around for a while, for a few years. This is actually a book that released within the last year or so. This is from an overseas artist named Max Lim. Now this cover is crazy. Now from what I've read, and I got this actually from the old man himself, Old Man Venom, him and someone else actually in a comic book store was speaking about it on release, that there is actually a version of this where the inks are kind of like faded, where he almost is like orange. He's like an orangish shade, almost looking like Phage. Phage is another symbiote from, of course, the group of symbiotes that there is, because there's so many of them. But so yeah, man, we're gonna keep going, man. Keep going. You see what this is? Separation Anxiety, Clayton Crane variant. Now this was one you could not get your hands on unless you were willing to pay a pretty penny. Say that 10 times. Unless you were willing to pay a pretty penny, or you just already have pre-ordered this. Now this book right here went over a lot of people's heads. Not mine. I made sure I got 2 of them. I'm very, very thankful. I wish I would have got 3 or 4, to be honest with you. Now that's each one. Phage is actually down there, the orange one I was just speaking about. If you see, they all look very, very similar to Carnage. But yes, these are the children of Venom. That's what these symbiotes are, man. Just like Carnage. If you do not know, Carnage is actually the son of Venom. So I'm not sure how they're going to depict it in the film. But original story-wise, what is canon, what was originally written was, Eddie Brock was locked away. Eddie Brock, which is Venom, was in jail, and the suit came and busted him out. And the suit is what you call asexual, which means it's not a guy, it's not a female, it's asexual. So it pretty much bonds with itself, and it had a kid. And the kid that it left behind was the red suit that joined with the crazy, insane serial killer, and it became Carnage. So yeah, it's so much going on. And actually, this is kind of the suit that I feel like I've been seeing, minus the little swirly that you see on his head, which of course is like the mark of Null, which is the creator of the symbiotes. But the back, how he has like these things sticking out his back, almost like bones, kind of like formations of wings almost. That is the version that you do see depicted in the trailer. So I'm not too mad about it. This right here, this actually was a good cover too. All of these are more recent. These aren't super older books. But this is him fighting Taskmaster. Just pretty good cover. Pretty good cover. Now this right here I absolutely love. This right here was done by Nick Bradshaw. This is Captain Marvel. Now this was also a tie-in to Absolute Carnage. So they've done Maximum Carnage. They've done Minimum Carnage. They've done Absolute Carnage. So you know, the train keeps rolling, man. They've done multiple series with Carnages, and I'm just finally glad to see him on film and actually not depicted too bad. So yeah, I thought it was really good. This right here, woo, this is the king, man. The king, he only get better when it comes to this. He don't really let us down too much. This is from Mark Bagley. This is, again, a very recent cover within the last year or so when Absolute Carnage was running. Now, this book, I was actually lucky to get, I think, 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of these. I have 4 copies of this book right here. I was super stoked, too. One store I actually picked it up from had them on shelves for cover price. I believe these are 1 in 25s. So, as you guys can see, buy multiples of what you like, man. That's how things turn out, But again, Mark Bagley is one of my favorite artists. He is the co-creator and the original first person to ever draw this character. So naturally, I had to pick up more than one. I had to. And this right here is this is what they call Spider Carnage, which is Ben Reilly and the Carnage symbiote. So Ben Reilly is Spider-Man's clone. This is him, and you can kind of tell the distinctiveness from his suits. He has web cartridges on his wrist. The suit's a little different. It's not just a regular, blue and red. It is blue and red, yes, but there's differentials between it. There's spots in it where his legs are mostly blue and black. The suit kind of cuts off. The spider's a lot more broad and a lot more bigger, so you can always tell the difference between those if you're familiar with the suits or not. So, and then we have a cover done by my guy Sonny. If you don't know who Sonny is a guy who's been around for years, man. He actually did the very first Venom book I ever seen that was an exclusive. So from a store. This is from his company. This is done by Mark Bagley. He knew who to reach out to and get us to buy it. This right here was killer. This is Absolute Carnage #1. There's only 500 of these ones made. This is a virgin copy. As you guys see, there's no trade dress. There's no title on it. But I got the card right here on the back to tell me what it is. Tells you the print run number. So this right here is Absolute Carnage, issue #1, done by Mark Bagley. And again, he knew who to go to. So shouts out to Sonny, man. Sonny Collectibles. He knew what he was doing. Shouts out to you, man. And you guys see it, man. That's the trade dress one. You see I got the title on that one. So I'm actually going to show you guys a few more books and get up out of here. This right here, now this is a 4th printing. You see I don't have this in no casing, and it's not bagged and boarded, nothing, because this was a reader's copy. I picked it up off the shelf and ended up noticing damage to it later on. I was a little aggravated by it, but I don't see too many of these around. This was really big on print because there was 3rd prints or 2nd prints, of course, and this is a 4th print. This is done by the king of some of this symbiotic things, man. Mark Bagley with another home run cover. You see Carnage just right there, big, broad, kind of just coming at you. You know, Carnage ain't worried about nothing right there, as the saying goes. And finally, last but not least, I'm going to leave you guys with this right here. This is one of the rarest, and I do mean one of the rarest Carnage covers on this planet. I'm going to take this out. As you guys see, this is a top-loaded, thick casing. Now, there is multiple men in the group of Symbiote Elites. I'm not the only one. But what I am, one of the only ones to own and don this book right here. Now again, I picked this book up the day it released. So you go to Google and you type in whatever day Carnage USA issue 1 released. I picked this up right off a store shelf and boom. I wish it would have been after a lot more because who would have known. But there was a time I just wanted to collect all the Carnage covers at one point. Of course, I've stopped that now because it's so many out there. But this is done from an artist I'm not a huge fan of. His name is Humberto Ramos. So shouts out to Humberto Ramos. But he does a lot of hit or miss stuff, but this one right here, something just called out to me and told me to get it. So this is a hit. And also, shouts out to definitely one of the biggest head honchos of this comic collecting, symbiotic related, Venom, Carnage, anything with a symbiotic or Venomized suit. My man, Mr. Gold Labels. Now, he has been doing his damn thing. He's a guy that I have nothing but respects and huge salutes for. He's the only of the Symbiotic Elite member that owns this book right here. I believe his is actually getting signed, or maybe he already got it back by now. I'm not 100% sure, but last time me and him had a brief conversation about this. We are the only 2 in the group out of all the members of the Elites, even the head honcho himself. Shouts out to the guys. We are the only 2 that own this book right here. So me, I actually have a sticker on here to remind me what to get it signed as and what to have him say. Hope him to write a few words in a word bubble for me when I get mine signed. So, but this is something that you definitely just, again, this is one of the rarest books. You do not see this book every day. I know because I've been looking, I've been trying for multiple amounts of years, and I'm looking for another one. I'm just, even if it ain't the highest grade, as long as I can find another one, but I'm sure I'm not the only person on the hunt for this. I've seen some of these go for around $1,200 to $1,300. It's just been crazy. Again, this right here is just a book that you do not see every day. But as it states, Carnage USA. And hey, in the USA, we about to see some Carnage on screen pretty soon. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Shouts out to everybody in the Symbiotic Elite group. Those guys, man, again, we're just some guys that's been collected for years, man. Before the hype, before a movie was scheduled, before the casting started, before a script was written, we was already sitting down, reading and collecting on these characters. So shouts out to you guys, all the real fans. And if you're not a real fan, you might be after this, right? Thank you guys for tuning in. Collect what you like. Symbiotic stuff all day and all night. Peace and love, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
It's Fresh 808.
You alive right now?